So are you going to tell me that the Knicks now have a big three with Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, and perhaps the up-and-coming Kristaps Porzingis?
Yeah, I'd say that's a big three. I mean, depending on how many games D Rose plays, I mean, it's probably going to be somewhere around 50 to 60 games. But I think if he's healthy for most of the year, that can be considered a decent big three.
I think Kristaps is too young to be considered one of a big three. I think that he needs another 2 years to fully develop into the prime action star that he is. And I think that the Knicks need to make a big offseason splash to make a big three happen, because I think D Rose and Melo are the big two.
I mean, they just made a big offseason splash by getting D Rose.
Well,
that's a big.
According to Phil Jackson, that's not even enough. And I think that every other Knicks fan would agree that that's not going to earn them a top spot.
Well, I think the reason they got D Rose was mainly to attract somebody else.
Well, yeah. So
if they didn't have D Rose, then who would other people be looking to? Why would other people be looking to come to the Knicks? They know they're not going to do anything if they don't have D Rose. So I think it was mainly a move to attract somebody else. Who is that? I don't know.
Yeah,
KD?
Maybe. I don't know, but I mean, I feel like people are giving D Rose too much name brand value right now. I mean, are we really like? I don't think people are diving deep enough into this trade. The Knicks got Derrick Rose, Justin Holiday, and a 2017 second-round pick. But the Bulls got Robin Lopez, Jose Calderon, geez, I'm having trouble talking, and Jerry Grant. So, I mean, all three of them decent players. So yeah. I'm not saying that, I just think people are hazed by the fact that, oh my God, Derrick Rose is coming to New York, yet they gave up a pretty good amount. I mean, Robin Lopez was in the lineup every day for them last year at center. I mean, that's not an easy hole to fill.
I'm not a fan of the people that are saying like it was a steal for the Knicks, because they're giving away two of their 5 starters from last year, Calderon and Lopez, and Jerry Grant was a decent player off the bench, I thought. And I do actually think that they gave up a little more than they could have, but I mean, the fact that they're getting somebody, I think the main reason is to attract another player, possibly. So I think it was a good move in terms of that, because they're getting the guy with the attractive name brand value in D Rose, who can potentially bring somebody else. And he's been saying he wants Joakim Noah, his former teammate, to come to the Knicks now, which I think would be really good for the Knicks. I mean, in the past they had Tyson Chandler, Defensive Player of the Year, and he worked out for them. And I think Joakim Noah can be a similar kind of asset to the team.
Listen, the Knicks can't get any worse than last year. This trade doesn't put their roster, I'd say, close to the top of where it could be. But like I said, like everyone's been saying, they need that one more guy, I feel like, to put them at the competitive nature in the playoffs. Right. Whether it's Dwight Howard, because they need to fill that center hole, as you mentioned, or if it's Kevin Durant, which is... But if Kevin Durant's given the option to go with the Warriors and the Knicks, I mean, wouldn't you go with the Warriors?
The Knicks will give him more money, I think.
But Kevin Durant did say it's a basketball decision who he's going to be surrounded with. Would you want to be surrounded with Curry or someone else? I mean, Curry or Melo. That's basically what it comes down to.
Melo. That's why they got D Rose, because that's another attractive player. And I think Kristaps can be somewhat attractive to other players as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks definitely had to make the trade, there's no doubt about it. I mean, we just had the draft a couple of days ago, and the Knicks had no picks.
Yeah.
So obviously they had to reach out in order to get better and bring people in. They needed outside help. They couldn't work from within. So, you got to give credit to Phil Jackson and them for finally making a move. But personally, I feel like they're putting too many chips into one basket. This whole trade is banking on D Rose being a healthy, more productive player. And everybody knows, I mean, he's not going to be as good as his All-Star season, but even if he's, 80% as good, is that really good enough? Because you're giving up 2 players who were in your starting lineup last year, in Jose Calderon and in Robin Lopez. So, and the Bulls, as a Bulls fan, you can't be crying right now, because Joakim Noah is most likely signing, another a free agent contract somewhere else, because he's a free agent. Not Taj Gibson. Who's the guy? They used to have Carlos Boozer. He's gone. They lost him a few years ago. So they haven't had a good, sufficient big man who's going to play for them every day and be a tenacious rebounder like a Robin Lopez. And Jose Calderon now fills the void left by D Rose.